Among the poorest communities in this country are the tribal communities, what we call scheduled tribes. They form about 14% of the total population, and since this population is widely dispersed, there are states with a much higher amount of tribals, and there are districts and blocks with substantially high tribal populations. Now, they form by far the poorest communities, because almost 49% of the tribal community is below the poverty line. AKRSPI works in two states with the tribal population. One is in Gujarat, which is called in basically the southern, what we call South Gujarat region, and then there is the region in tribal belt in Madhya Pradesh. And in both these regions, we find there are high levels of poverty, therefore high levels of migration, reasonably high rainfall, but also very high soil erosion, and therefore agriculture incomes are not sufficient for the tribals to sustain themselves throughout the year. In fact, it is such a sad fact that there are a large number of tribals who have lost their livelihoods because of irrigation projects, because large irrigation projects are near hilly areas. So many villages around those hilly areas get submerged, and since tribals stay in hilly areas, many of them have been displaced. So we may have a very unfortunate fact that there may be more tribals who have lost due to irrigation than who have gained because of access to irrigation. Tribal areas see a very large incidence of intergenerational poverty. This intergenerational poverty can destroy the fabric, the social fabric of this country, and therefore it is extremely essential that we focus on policies and programs which enhance water control for tribals, which enhance water control in a comprehensive manner, and which enhance water control in a way in which tribal incomes and tribal livelihoods improve not only substantially but sustainably. The HUF project currently supports AKRSP's work in the tribal areas of Dangs. Dangs is not only the poorest district of Gujarat, but it is also among the poorest districts of the country, and it has a very high proportion of tribals to the total population, that is 98%. Our aspiration is to use the lessons from this district and from the other areas where we work in to expand in two different ways. One is to use this as models and spread this knowledge among various panchayats and create a whole movement of aspiration among the tribal communities to demand similar technologies and approaches in their own villages. So it becomes a sort of a bottom-up demand. The second is, of course, to work on the policy makers and those who design programs like MGNREGS or IWMP or irrigation schemes to modify these projects to enhance the water control in tribal areas. So if we work both at the bottom-up end, that is working on aspirations of large number of tribal communities, and on what we call the policy end, then there is a huge potential which can be achieved, because tribal areas in all parts of the country, and at least in the major parts of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, can aspire towards a very improved quality of life through the link between water control to improved agriculture, to improved allied activities, and therefore to improve tribal livelihoods.